There we go. Oh, it looks great. It's very ambient and lovely. All right. Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
I'm John Klinghammer for the Kansas City Symphony Musicians. We're here once again on Monday night interviewing a member of the orchestra. Today is Kent Brauninger, viola extraordinaire, guitar, mandolin, banjo. And we are here at his house instead of doing it over the interwebs, which is so nice of you to invite me out. It's a lovely change of pace.
Great weather.
I also want to point out, just in case you were wondering why it's now 5:30 when I said this was going to happen closer to 5, I started this live stream on my personal account first, and we went like...
We're halfway through.
I would say about 15 minutes into it.
So we're totally warmed up.
So we had a great dress rehearsal, and now we're ready to go. All right, well, Kent. All right, so we want to talk about Kent a little bit. You're from the Pacific Northwest, and you moved out to the Midwest when you were about 5 years old. You moved to Kansas before that?
Right.
Okay. And then wound up in Des Moines
Right.
when you were 5. And you grew up with 2 music teacher parents
Right.
who made you
Made us practice
a lot. You and your
Yes.
brother
Yeah, sister.
and sister. And did everybody play strings? Was it a string?
Right, that
family?
was my parents' thing, so we did strings. Although, my parents loved all kinds of instruments. My dad idolized the trumpet, and my mother loved the harp.
Oh, okay.
But my mother was quite an accomplished string bass player. In fact, she wrote the original draft of the Suzuki bass books 1, 2, and 3.
No
And
kidding.
Sammy Burchard shelved her stuff and had another bassist do it, and they shelved his stuff, and then they hired another person to put everything together.
Okay.
So, but she was very active in teaching and performing in
Wow.
the symphony and so forth.
That's very cool. Huh. And were they? Oh no, you just said. Sorry. You just said she was a bass player, right?
Bass player, right?
And your dad was a violinist. Okay. I was going to ask you. They were both into other instruments. Is this how you wound up kind of taking an interest in all these auxiliary strings?
They approved of that eventually, but initially no. They just wanted me to play Baroque music on violin and viola.
Oh.
As a kid, I was into the Beatles. I thought Baroque music was okay, but I thought.
Yeah. How long did it take before you thought, oh, I like Baroque music?
16. I was
16, yeah.
So,
That's pretty. I mean, at least a lot of 16-year-olds that would be like, Baroque music. Ugh.
but for me, there was also a social element. Because in public high school, I was definitely a nerd. But when I went to music camps,
Right.
everyone I understood.
Right.
It was.
You
great.
feel like you find your tribe a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. We talked earlier, but well, since no one saw it except a couple of my friends, you were into go-kart racing in high school as well. What does that mean, go-kart racing? Do you have an engine?
Yeah, it's a very loud, very powerful. It was in dirt track racing. You spend most of your time sliding sideways at 40 miles an hour this far above the ground.
Oh, fun.
And if you tangle wheels, you flip over and can very badly hurt yourself. I don't know why I did this. And my parents, I have no clue why they allowed me to do it. Well, I was very persuasive.
Are you strapped in? Like, are you like?
No.
No.
This was back in the days when open cockpit.
Oh, wow.
Just like blue jeans and a chintzy old motorcycle helmet.
Wow. That's exciting.
It was. It was a blast.
And then you got to your senior year in high school. Did you visit Interlochen? Is that how you discovered it?
I went for the summer there.
Okay, you did like a summer
And
thing there. I see.
It was mind-melting how wonderful it was. And came back home, got back into my senior year at the public school, and started to feel like I was more a part of things. I was going to be in the musical. I was going to sing in 2 choirs. Going to be do lots of things I wanted to do. And then we got a phone call. Would you be interested in coming to the academy? We have this much money for you.
Cool.
And my parents made a sacrifice, and I went.
Yeah, nice. And I assume you had a very good experience.
Yeah, very good. I discovered mandolin there, and I studied pipe organ for a year pretty vigorously.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you still, like, could you play some?
I still have my organ shoes, but they don't fit.
Well, that's it. If your organ shoes don't fit, you
Well,
can't play that thing.
They're Capizio dance shoes, so I could dance badly in them, but
I did. My wife's brother took us rock climbing last summer, and you have to wear the special like rock climbing shoes. And if those things don't fit, it is not comfortable. It's not a good experience.
Oh,
so
I
maybe
believe
the
it.
pipe organ could be similar.
maybe so.
High stress shoe fitting situation.
I love that. I considered adding that to my field of study.
Yeah.
But when I went to Indiana, it was so competitive on the viola. And then I started playing in a Dixieland jazz band, and I started playing in a bluegrass band, in addition to trying to study viola.
Right.
And playing in the Evansville Philharmonic and the Owensboro Symphony.
You said too much stuff.
Too much stuff.
There's no room for pipe organ with all
Yeah.
that going on. It would be a neat hobby, though.
Yeah,
Organ.
it's wonderful.
Huh. Very cool. Well, Kent has his guitar. I brought a clarinet. We've already had dress rehearsal.
Yes.
So we're going to play a couple tunes for you guys. The first one is Dyna. My clarinet is so cold.
Yeah, so is my guitar. You want to warm it up a little bit?
I mean, it's not going to warm it up to pitch quick enough to make it worthwhile. I'll warm up my whistle, too.
Yeah, I'll play really softly for that.
Hopefully I can do better.
Very nice.
Better the second time. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go, guys.
1932. Nicely done,
I
sir.
changed my whistle technique because I wasn't getting the E, the F, whatever it was.
Wow, nicely done.
Nice job. Okay, so you discovered you're going to be a musician.
Right. You try.
You're going to try. I'm going to look at our camera to make sure it can still
Good
see
plan.
us. It's dim, but I think it's very nice.
Okay.
Here, I'll just turn this up.
Or we can angle it too, if you'd like.
Yeah, give us
Okay.
a little. I mean, it's a
Okay.
little. See if that looks hideous. That's a little better, I think.
Okay.
Oh, it's bright though.
Okay, you want me to change?
No, you're fine. You're fine the way you are.
Okay.
Yeah. So now you left Interlochen, you went to the University of Indiana.
Right.
Bachelor's degree, master's degree,
Right.
all viola. You were saying earlier that I was asking you about the mandolin and the banjo and all this stuff, and you said it's just like people kept asking you for those things.
Right.
basically.
Wherever I went for viola, there was always somebody who needed a banjo. One of the best tuba players at Indiana University asked if I'd play banjo. Just a real nice guy, a friend. He said, "Would you consider playing banjo? I have the banjo. I just need someone for this Dixieland band I'm forming."
Mm-hmm.
We did gigs.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun. Played for football games. Played for corporate luncheons.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ton of fun.
That's cool.
We use wonderful music.
Would you play banjo the most, you would say, or mandolin, or just kind of a mix?
It was a mix. I was teaching myself 5-string banjo, 4-string banjo, working on guitar, practicing mandolin, practicing fiddle, and practicing viola.
Wow.
So I was just trying to do it all.
Wow, that's amazing. How do you, as a musician, I think this is interesting because there's a lot of different kinds of musicians. Like, I'm pretty much, I'm a clarinet player.
Right.
Although I guess I play bass clarinet too as part of my job.
See, you guys and percussionists are my example because you can play a number of instruments really well. So I challenge myself to do that, but I don't say I really say that I'm a student of these things.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much to learn.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much to learn.
How do you like parse out your time though? Do you have a plan, or do you just kind of like,
no,
I feel like playing banjo today?
Sometimes, but what usually happens is whatever the need is, that's what I focus on.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's going out there, doing Rhapsody in Blue and need banjo, that's what I'm working on.
I'm going to work on some banjo. That makes sense. Yeah. I will admit, when I don't have any bass clarinet tunes coming up, I don't practice it a lot.
Don't get it out.
Don't tell anybody. Nice. Okay, and so then you met your wife in Des Moines, right?
Right. She was a graduate student at Drake.
While you were playing in the Des Moines Symphony.
Right.
Right, which I've also played in the Des Moines Symphony.
Right, we have that in common.
We have this in common.
Right.
And then you auditioned for the Kansas City Symphony in 1987.
A number of times before that, too.
Really?
Finals. I auditioned for this orchestra. Well, in 1982, I auditioned and made finals for principal.
Okay.
But I'm glad I didn't get it because the orchestra folded.
So 87 was like after the right after the rebirth.
It was 5 years after the rebirth. So
okay.
My audition for the orchestra was just moments before it died. So it was really good that
That's good luck. Good luck, yeah. Okay. And so you wound up here, and you've been here ever since. And you said you've taken auditions since then, and it just kind of...
It just didn't have success, and my kids loved it here. My wife loves it here. We're very close to my folks, and it just felt like home.
Yeah. And it's a great... Maria talks about this too. Like when my wife Maria, she's mentioned taking auditions other places, and she says, I've stayed around. You stay around here for 5 or 6 years. The orchestra is like much better than it was 5 years. Like
exactly.
It's almost like you want a new job without ever taking an audition.
Oh, that's so on.
So it's a fortunate thing we have here, that this orchestra is doing so well. All right, and so I wanted to ask you a little bit. You got to play a mandolin concerto with the orchestra just 2 years ago,
yeah,
right?
It was really cool. It was the first movement of a gentleman named Jeffrey Midkiff, who was actually a clarinet player and a mandolin player, like Andy Statman. You know the name Andy Statman?
I don't know.
Fine. He's a fine clarinet player, klezmer clarinet, and a mandolinist. So, again, another amazing person.
Yeah.
So,
Does that I mean, for me, playing a concerto of any kind, like in front of the orchestra, on a clarinet, I'd be like, oh man, okay, whew, this is a big deal, to do it on the mandolin, which is kind of like a second instrument.
I spent a lot of time working.
I bet you did.
Right.
How do you but you don't feel? Do you feel nervous, or you just?
Oh, sure. But here's the thing: my colleagues are really wonderful, and they're really supportive, and they're really kind. And I knew I had their support. The dress rehearsal was challenging because the mandolin is so quiet. Standing in front of the orchestra, the sonic power of the ensemble was overwhelming.
Yeah.
But for the performance, I had really good sound.
Good.
They dialed it in. So
I see.
I could hear myself in the house, and I could hear the orchestra. It was almost easy.
That's always a good feeling.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's cool. Good for you, man. I think that's so impressive to be like soloing with the orchestra on a second instrument.
Well, you do it all the time. Pick a clarinet and you play it.
Yeah, the clarinets are all kind of like the same.
Trumpet players the same.
Fingerings are the same.
Trombone players play tuba. Or no, horn players play tuba. Trombone players play bass trumpet.
Euphonium.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess everyone mixes it up a little bit.
Especially percussionists.
Yeah, well, percussionists is a whole other.
Yeah, that's so. All these people are my. I think they have more fun too.
could be. There's a lot of stuff to bang on. I always wanted to be a drummer. Right? I was always very jealous of drummers. It looks like a lot of fun sometimes. Cool.
Right.
What? And you're sort of an aficionado of all these different styles of music.
I'm a student of them. I'm no expert, but I just love them.
Mm-hmm. What's your what do you really love? Is it the kind of thing where you can't really, it's like you just love all
Pretty
music?
much. I would
whatever?
say though, for me, Grappelli and Django Reinhardt are kind of at the epicenter of what's to me mind melding and wonderful.
Yeah.
But there's some great. I mentioned Jorah Feitman, whose playing is amazing. Wind player. Right, it's hard to say.
Yeah,
It
sure.
kind of depends on the week.
Stefan Grappelli and who's the
Django Reinhardt.
Django Reinhardt, right? Of course. That's an amazing combination.
Right.
Yeah, that's beautiful stuff.
It truly is.
I remember being in a car once on the road with a friend in Spain, and somebody put a Django Reinhardt album on, and he didn't really even know who. He kind of knew who it was, and he was like, "This is like the greatest traveling music ever." Like this is like it's just here we go out in the world. It's such a
Well, you're in Spain. Flamenco guitar is another amazing. That's I don't have the chops for that, or the fingernails, or the time. I mean, that takes a lifetime. But yeah.
Is your you've been playing mandolin with your music box group, right? In the neighborhood concerts. Are you guys scheduled to do anything coming up at all?
We did our last one yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Sunday.
Okay.
So they were really nice to me. I said, "Can we please play the Mandolin Concerto by Vivaldi?" And he wrote one. He wrote concertos for numbers of mandolins, but one concerto for one mandolin. It's a little lightweight piece in C major. It's kind of tricky in places.
Sure.
And the funny thing is, when it gets cold, the neck of my mandolin contracts.
Oh.
And I sound fine at home, but when I get out to the show, E string notes don't speak very well.
Okay.
But that's all right.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? But yeah, it's been fun. So they've been very nice to me, and they've made that 3-movement piece part of our program.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah, I heard a little snippet of it that I posted online for people to hear. Yeah, it sounded great. And how's the music box experience been? Good? Have you enjoyed it?
It's been a lot of fun. And what's really surprising are the number of people that come and attend and enjoy.
Yeah. And it's such a different vibe for us because it's usually pretty small.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you have some bigger crowds, but even then they're spaced out in a weird way.
And they're all, you can only see their faces, their eyes.
Right, because they got the mask sometimes.
But they come, bless them.
Yeah. And they seem to really love it too.
Right. How's your music box?
It's been great, yeah. Well, we haven't done it for a little bit because it got cold and then we weren't scheduled. But
I got to hear your group in September. We dovetailed, I think.
Oh yeah.
I was very impressed.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, I think it's a really cool thing that we're doing that. All right, should we play another?
Let's give it a whirl.
Let's play another number.
So John asked me to play something, and I said I'm really more of a supportive player, being a violist. So let's play a couple of songs from the American Songbook.
The American Songbook.
And you want to do?
Okay, what am I doing now?
ABA.
ABA. Play. Yes.
Okay.
Play first. Yes. Let me just. We're so good right now. The video quality is just unparalleled.
Do you want to blow through your phone a little bit?
Yeah, I probably will. Just warm it up. It's almost. I mean, it's not pitch black, but it is really dark out here. But so here's to iPhone camera technology. All
I
right.
can see my marks.
We're gonna try. It's only a paper moon, you guys. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. I think that's great. That's the greatest interview of all time.
I know. For me too.
Kent, thank you so much for joining us here live on Instagram, I think.
We hope.
We hope.
We'll do it again if it's fun.
We'll do it again next time, yeah, absolutely. And hey, thanks for watching, everybody out there. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming by.
My pleasure. Oh my goodness.
Did it work?
I hope so.